Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda, and in this training video, I'll teach you 4 things you can do to make money if you've lost your job and if you haven't been able to get unemployment benefits. These 4 things are learning new skills, expanding your network, improving your resume and essentially expanding your reach on social media, and exploring remote work. I'll talk to you about the concept of remote work, which is now becoming a greater phenomenon in this new post-pandemic world. Before I get started, if you're not an existing subscriber yet, please consider subscribing. Please enable notifications so you get an instant update. And if you learn something new from this video training, please click the like button because it really helps out the YouTube algorithm. So with that being said, let's get started. Let's talk about the importance of learning new skills. Now, we live in a world where essentially a lot of things have changed very, very quickly. And for a lot of us, especially those of us who are older, who've spent a lot of time acquiring a certain set of skills, going to college, we have decades and decades of experience doing one type of a job. This is a very frightening phenomenon to find yourself in a situation where you've lost your job or your job now becomes redundant or your employer might just cut your hours through what is basically no fault of your own. I believe in the phenomenon that necessity is the mother of innovation. What I mean by that is if you find yourself in a situation where what you know to be true, what you know to exist previously no longer exists going forward, it creates what's called as a new reality, and that new necessity, the necessity that you now have to make money, you now have to somehow bring in a paycheck so you can pay your rent, so you can buy food, so you can keep the lights on, that essentially will force us to become more innovative. And hopefully that leads a lot of us to learn new skills. I'm talking about getting better at the computer. I'm talking about getting better at maybe customer service. I'm talking about getting better at skills that are going to be valuable no matter what. In fact, there's been an increased demand for a lot of customer service jobs in this new post-pandemic world because a lot of individuals are still getting business done over the phone, are still getting business done via live chat or via online conferencing. So there is room to get a customer service job for many individuals, and that again comes back to learning new skills. I want you to learn how to use the computer. I want you to get better at, like I said, your skills over the phone. I want you to get better at writing. If that was a passion of yours, I want you to get better at web designing. And if that means you take some sort of online course, then you should do so, because learning new skills and expanding your skill set is going to help you in any economy, especially this economy where there's a re-engineering of the workforce. So definitely go ahead and learn new skills, even if that means you have to possibly invest in something in order to take an online course. It's going to be worth it, because the best investment you can make is in yourself. Remember, any money, any investment that you put into education to enhance your own skills, to make yourself more valuable to an employer, will allow you to not only recover the money that you spent in that investment, but it will essentially give you more job satisfaction as well, because now you have a new skill that will be of more value to an employer in this new post-pandemic world. So you've got to learn new skills, you've got to think outside the box, and you've got to ask yourself, what is it that people are looking for out there? And I'll actually help you figure that out as well. So again, spend some time learning new skills. Now, you don't necessarily have to invest money by buying a course or by investing in a course, because you may not have a lot of funds available for pursuing education right now. But there are a lot of free trainings out there. In fact, you're on YouTube right now, and you can find videos on YouTube that will help you learn all different sorts of skills. You could learn skills on how to do stuff around the house that could be valuable to other individuals in your community. You could learn skills on writing certain types of content which could be valuable to local businesses who are looking to improve their websites. You could learn some basic web designing skills, which again could be valuable for other local businesses, which could be valuable for businesses all over the country who are looking to revamp their websites to attract more customers in this new online post-pandemic world that we live in. So definitely I want you to give some serious thought into learning new skills and expanding your skill set so that you become more valuable for your next employer. You might even decide to start your own business, and you might decide that you want to be your own boss and you want to create your own hours, and you may then develop skills, and you could essentially try and learn leadership skills, because if you build your own business, you may end up hiring other individuals. So The sky's the limit really when you decide to open up your mind, when you decide to explore new opportunities and learn new skills. Let's get to the second point, expanding your network. You'll be surprised with how many individuals you know, not only in your community but also in your state, and also perhaps even in other states all over the country. Pick up the phone and start calling people. Do that. Make at least 5 or 6 phone calls a day. Send out at least 5 or 6 or 10 emails a day and say, look, I'm in the market, I'm looking, this is what I can do, here's my resume, I'm available if you want to talk, here's my cell phone number, text me. That's it. And the law of averages will catch up with you. If you make 5 phone calls a day, and if you send out 5 emails a day, you're reaching out to 10 individuals a day. Don't hesitate to reach out to friends. Don't hesitate to reach out to family, people that you haven't connected with for a long time. Just expand your network, reach out to your network. Get in touch with a lot of individuals, because you never know, those individuals may know someone who could be your next employer, who could provide you with the next opportunity for you to start your own business and be your first client. So you've got to start reaching out to people. Remember, nothing happens to us if we just sit back and wait for things to happen. Things happen because of us, not to us. A lot of us essentially have this mentality that we wait for something to happen. I want you to make something happen. The next big action in your life will again happen because of you. Don't just expect it to happen to you. We need to take a more proactive, a more aggressive mindset, as opposed to retreat into what I call as the victim mindset. So I think it's a good idea for us to start reaching out to people. I think it's a good idea to leave your ego behind and not be stuck in your own head, because a lot of us, we tend to be very, very analytical. We tend to ask ourselves, what's this person going to think about, or what's that person going to think about? I'm going to belittle myself, or I'm going to demean myself if I reach out. I don't want you to think like that. The way I approach it, because when I started building my businesses, I used to do a lot of marketing myself. Today, I don't even need to get on the phone with clients because I have a whole team that does that for me. My approach towards marketing when I was building my business, when I had my first ever client, was I'm willing to take 100 no's so that I can get the one yes. In other words, I'm willing to get the door slammed in my face tens of times, hundreds of times, but I want that occasional yes. I want that single yes that's going to translate into my next big client, my next big opportunity. And that's what's basically allowed me to build a successful business, in fact, build many successful businesses. And I know that attitude, that approach can work for you when you're looking for your next job, when you're looking for your next employer. Make yourself more employable, expand your skill set. Decide what you want to do. The world is actually full of opportunities if you take a stand and if you take control of the situation, if you seize control of the situation and start finding new opportunities as opposed to just waiting for opportunities to find you. So that was the expanding your network component. Now let's get into the third part, which is improving your resume and putting yourself out there on social media. A lot of us haven't really worked on our resume for a long time. I would advise you to sort of dust up your resume, update it, add all your latest information, add all your latest phone numbers, your social media profiles, all of the information that an employer would possibly be interested in. Make sure your resume is updated. Now, if you haven't had a resume for a long time and you can't even find it, create a brand new resume. You need to present yourself as valuable as necessary to an employer. Now imagine if you were meeting someone for the first time, you would want to put your best foot forward. You need to approach a new employer, you need to approach new employment opportunities exactly like that, so that you can make yourself more valuable to a new employer, so that you can make money if you've lost your previous job and you don't qualify for unemployment benefits. It's very important for us to get out of our own head, because a lot of us are essentially more analytical and don't take action as quickly as is necessary. I believe in the 80-20 rule when it comes to trying to look for a new job. What that means is 80% of something done with a high degree of speed is more important and will get you further in the long run than trying to do 100% of something with absolute precision, because the incremental benefit that you get with the final 20% usually takes up so much time, takes up so many resources, takes up so much energy, results in so much lost opportunity, because by that time someone else got the job, or by that time you just miss the opportunity. And you know what I'm talking about. If you procrastinate, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The benefit with the final 20%, with the perfection, the final 20% isn't worth it. Now, when I create these YouTube videos, there are times when I make mistakes while filming these videos, but I'm not trying to create the absolute perfect video. I'm trying to create a video that I can create with a high degree of efficiency, that I can get out to my subscribers. And by the way, shout out to all my subscribers. I really appreciate you. Because of you, my channel has grown very quickly in the recent few weeks, and I really appreciate that. So please continue to like the videos if you're learning something valuable, and please, if you're not a subscriber yet, please consider subscribing and smashing that notification button so you get an instant update. But again, we need to be able to take action quickly, as opposed to pontificating, as opposed to hesitating, as opposed to overanalyzing, because at the end of the day, you want to take action, and only when you take action is when you can then get consequences. Whether they're desirable or not is not always under your control, but we need to take action. So that's why it's really important for us to improve our resume and then market ourselves on social media. Update your LinkedIn profile, update your Facebook profile, update your Twitter handle, and just make yourself more appealing to an employer, because a lot of times employers will actually look you up on those networks just to see what you've been up to and just to get a sense for who you are. And so it's really important for you to put your best foot forward, get a nice picture taken, dress up nicely, and even it's okay if you take a picture against a wall. You don't have to take the perfect picture. You don't need fancy design skills. You don't need to create the most fanciest of videos. You can create something that's simple, that's authentic, and then that's what's going to be appreciated by employers, because employers are looking for individuals out there. Employers are still looking, but there are specific job types that they're looking for. Now, let's talk about job types, and I'm going to jump into the fourth component of this training video, which is remote work. Now, if you want to work from home, from the comforts of your living room, perhaps even a little side table by your kitchen, or in a spare bedroom, or even if you want to work out on your patio, that opportunity exists. There are many websites out there. There's flexjobs.com, there's Upwork.com, and there's also a website called Fiverr.com. That's Fiverr.com. Now, these websites allow individuals to work remotely and to get paid for the work that they do, even though they could be sitting in a different part of the country or even in a different corner of the world. The only thing you need for remote work, which incidentally all of us or most of us have, is a good phone connection, is a good phone line, and a strong internet connection. Now, if a lot of individuals are at home, if you have family at home, it could be that everyone's essentially using the same internet connection, but that's fine. All you got to do is upgrade your internet connection if at all possible, or better yet, just hardwire the connection, which means instead of relying on Wi-Fi, you actually connect the Ethernet cable to your laptop or to your desktop, so you have a high-speed internet connection that then facilitates video calls and such. But basically, you want to make yourself ready for remote work. That involves, again, having a good phone connection, having a strong internet connection, being able to do video calls, being able to be in an environment where there's not too much background sound. You can use many different softwares out there. You can use many different microphones that act as noise cancellation microphones. In fact, this microphone that I'm using right now, that I'm using to record this video, this costs $10 on Amazon. I'm using a $10 microphone for my videos that I essentially seen by hundreds of thousands, by millions of people. So I want you to understand that you don't need a whole lot in order to be able to pull off what is essentially a professional remote working environment. Speaking of professional remote working environment, I do want you to have a professional and a clean and a presentable background, which means you need to be in an office. And let's say you don't have a nice office, that's fine. You could be in your living room. Just make sure your background is clean and neat and there's no clutter there. There aren't any unnecessary things there that shouldn't be there, because you want to present your best foot forward if you're doing video calls with an employer, if you're doing video calls with clients. And it's very easy to do that. Just something clean and neat. Maybe have a vase with flowers in the background. It's really very simple, but you have to be able to create that kind of a setup. You could do a couple of video calls or a couple of FaceTime calls with your friends and family just to make sure your background looks okay. That's really all it takes to have a good professional, remote working environment. Also, you need to be organized, because it might seem that remote work is very simple, it's very easy, because after all, you're working from home. How hard could it be? But remote work actually requires more discipline than working on site, because now you're responsible for your own hours. You need to be disciplined about when you start, you need to be disciplined about when you take your lunch break, and you need to be disciplined about when you stop working. I can speak from personal experience. I've worked remotely for a long time because I manage multiple businesses from my home office, and I have it down to a science where I know when I start, I know when I stop. The truth is, I put in way more hours than I need to, because I just enjoy what I do. But the fact is, you need to be disciplined. Working from home is an adjustment. It is a re-engineering, it's a realignment of our fundamental work mindset, because we've essentially been conditioned to go to work and then to come back at home and just relax. But now that you're working from home, you need to establish your own personal space of work. You need to establish your own personal safe zone, if you will. You're not going to be able to work in the living room in front of a TV. If someone in your family is watching TV at that time, you're going to maybe need to sit in the balcony. If you have one, maybe in the kitchen. You need to find some sort of a safe zone, and it doesn't even need to be right within your home or your apartment. It could even be right outside your house. It could be in your driveway, as long as you have a strong internet connection in your driveway. You could even feasibly walk over to a park where you have high-speed internet and then work off of the park. Just open up your mind to all sorts of possibilities with remote work, because remote work is viable. I know that for a fact, because not only do I work remotely, a lot of my employees also work remotely. And like I mentioned in a previous training video, the CEO of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, actually said that in the next 5 to 10 years, he expects as much as 50% of Facebook employees to work remotely. Remote work has always been around, but the new surge in remote work, the new trend towards remote work, is something that I feel is here to stay, which is why I want you to open up your mind to the possibilities of remote work. I hope this training video was beneficial. I really appreciate you watching. I hope you got some new ideas. If you did, please click the like button, please click subscribe, and please enable notifications, because I will release more videos that will allow you to get through this difficult time, that will allow you to prepare for a better financial future. If that means that you have to work remotely with your present job, in other words, you're going from on-site to now off-site, you're working remotely from home, that's fine. If that means finding a new job, finding new opportunities, I hope I've given you a sense of what lies ahead. Again, I hope this was beneficial. Please click the like button, please click subscribe, please enable notifications, and I am really grateful that you took the time to watch this video, and I'll see you in the next training video. Thanks so much.